So in this video, we are going to discuss the half angle formula. With that, um, sine squared theta is equal to the 1 minus cosine 2 theta over 2. Then we divide this, we can get our sine squared theta over 2, which we need to do is divide this our value will divide by 2 to get the half of our to get this theta over 2 is equal to 1 minus cosine theta over 2. So take the square root of this both sides, so we now get our sine theta over 2 is equal to plus or minus square root of 1 minus cosine theta over 2. Same goes with our cosine. So cosine squared theta is equal to 1 plus the cosine 2 theta over 2. So same process, divide our 2 theta by 2. So we now get our cosine squared of theta 2 is equal to 1 plus we are now left with our cosine theta over 2. So take the square root of both sides. So our cosine would be cosine theta over 2 is equal to the square root of 1 plus the cosine theta over 2. So next one is the tangent. So the next one is the tangent theta over 2. So we know that tangent is equal to sine over cosine. So we can say that sine theta over 2 over cosine theta over 2 is the same as the plus or minus square root of 1 minus cosine theta over 2 over plus or minus square root of 1 plus cosine theta over 2. So we can get rid of these two here. Then plus minus square root of 1 minus cosine theta over square root of 1 plus cosine theta. So whenever we have let's say the square root of 2 over the square root of 3 is equal to the square root of 2 over 3. So our final tangent theta over 2 is the square root of 1 minus cosine theta over 1 plus the cosine theta. So here is another formula for tangent theta over 2. Tangent theta over 2 is equal to 1 minus cosine theta over sine theta. Also the sine theta over the 1 plus the cosine theta. Well, anyways, let's have a problem to further analyze this topic. So let's work on some problems here. Let's say cosine of I say cosine 30 degrees. So with that information, we can use this formula of cosine theta over 2 of is equal to the square root of 1 plus cosine theta over 2. So given that information, we all know that theta over 2 is equal to 30. So if we multiply both sides by 2, we get rid of to find this theta. So our theta is equal to 60. So if we multiply 2 here and 2 here, we get the 60 degrees. Our theta is 60 degrees. So we can now substitute 1 plus our cosine. Theta is cosine. Our theta is 60 degrees over 2. So given that information, with that in the 60-30 triangle, this is 60 degrees triangle, 60, 30. With that information, it says square root of 3, 1, and 2. So according to the SOHCAHTOA, the cosine is equal to SOHCAHTOA is adjacent over hypotenuse. So our cosine of 60 is equal to adjacent, which is 1 over 2. So you can now simply substitute 1 plus the cosine of 60 is 1 half over 2. So multiply these sides here of 2 to get rid of this fraction. So 2 times 1 is simply 2 plus 2 times 1 half is simply 1 over 4. So don't forget to write here plus minus negative plus negative sign, because we can't say that it is positive or negative. So 2 plus 1 is the square root of 3, and the square root of 4 is simply the square root of 2. So the square root of 3. So our final answer is the square root of 3 over 2. So since our theta is 60 degrees, and 60 degrees is it is in the first is in quadrant 1. So therefore our final answer is it is positive square root of 3 over 2. So let's have our next problem of tangent 22.5. 22. This is point right here. So with that information, with that problem, we can use this formula of 1 minus cosine theta over sine theta. So 25.5 is our theta over 2, which is simply if we multiply both sides by 2, get our theta of 45 degrees. So all we need to do is replace or substitute cosine of 45 degrees over sine of 45 degrees. So given that cosine 45 and sine 45, let's say this will be our 45 90 triangle. 45 45. So 45 90 degree angle, which is this will be square root of 2, 1, and 1. So cosine 45 using the SOHCAHTOA, cosine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is 1 over square root of 2. So multiply by square root of 2, which will have our square root of 2 over 2 times square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So simply we can now 1 put this, our cosine is equal to the square root of 2 over 2, and our sine 45 is sine 45 is equal to, according to the SOHCAHTOA, is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So sine is 1 over square root of 2. It multiplied also is square root of 2. So we'll get the same answer of square root of 2 over 2. So substitute sine 45 of square root of 2 over 2. So the 1 minus square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 divided by 2 is the same as, if we flip this denominator, we can have our 2 over square root of 2. Then if we divide this one here, we can cancel out, so we'll leave as 2 over the square root of 2 minus 1. So we multiply it by the square root of 2 to get the GCF. The square root of 2 will leave now as our so we'll now get the 2 minus the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. So we multiply the square root of 2 here, also in the denominator. So we'll now get the 2 square root of 2 minus the square root of 4, which is 2 times square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 4. And the square root of square root of 2 times 2 is 4 also. So if we take the square root of 4, so we will now get our final answer of the 2 square root of 2 minus 2 over the square root of 2. So notice that we can divide 2 here, so simply our final answer is square root of 2 minus 2.